So the Niners have intriguing quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, guys with potential, guys who are fun to, think about what they could be. Are any of them better than Jimmy Garoppolo right now?
A good question. Give me a second. I would say Brock Purdy is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Would you agree?
Yes. No question.
No question. So Brock Purdy, yes. I would say Sam Darnold is not better than Jimmy Garoppolo. He may turn out to be, but he couldn't have gotten the deal with the Raiders that Jimmy got. Mm-hmm. And again, I would say Trey Lance might someday be better than Jimmy, but he's not better right now. Mm-mm. So
he also couldn't get that. He also couldn't get that deal that Jimmy got if he were on the open market. Trey, right now.
No way. So, no matter what you think of that deal, Jimmy got that deal. Yeah. These two guys couldn't. So I would say on the
and I don't even know that Brock could right now, coming off the surgery that he's coming off.
Good point.
Yeah.
So on March 14th, 2023, the Niners have one quarterback who's better but hurt than Jimmy, and the other two at this moment are not better, but each could turn out to be better, which is very interesting. If you use Jimmy as the metric, as the standard, two of them fall below Jimmy.
Right now, on March 14th. And what I'll say is I would do exactly what the Niners are doing. Move on from Jimmy and bet on someone with more potential, because you know exactly what you got from Jimmy. It's never going to get better. It's only going to get worse. So I like what they're doing.
Okay, I like what they're doing, but I'm not entirely in love. So let me try to explain why. They have a team that's ready to win, but they may not have a quarterback who's ready to win. Mm-hmm. And that's a screw up. I think it's a screw up when the most important position on your team still has a question mark over it.
Absolutely is a screw up. But Jimmy Garoppolo is not the answer.
No. The point is, I'm not sure they have an answer.
No. The Raiders are going nowhere.
But the Niners are still searching. And
they are.
With this team, and they talk about the window of opportunity, with this team, they should not be in search mode. They should be in kick-ass mode.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like, hey, maybe Sam Darnold could really turn his career around over here.
Right. It shouldn't
really
be that way.
No.
And, of course, they had to get rid of Jimmy, and they're moving ahead in a way that I appreciate and endorse. This should have happened 4 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And year 7, and they're still floundering around at the quarterback position, and it just feels like they take defensive tackle more seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The reason that they can't find a quarterback long term is they don't really take Kyle doesn't really take the position seriously. Maybe John too, because John won a Super Bowl with Brad Johnson as his quarterback. Maybe he thinks you just need a guy, but that was 21 years ago. The league has changed a whole lot. I think you need more than just a guy to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, all power, all praise to the Niners for moving away from Jimmy. They had to do it, and for Sam Darnold getting him his really creative and clever. Yeah. This stuff should happen 3 and 4 years ago. The quarterback should be at the same standard as the rest of the team.
I think it's real quick before we move on. I think it's really funny that Jimmy Garoppolo went to the Raiders. He's the worst deep passer in the league, and he's on the Raiders. Like Al Davis, boy, if he knew, it would make him sick. I think it's just really funny that the Raiders, like Mark Davis, really wants to be the opposite of his dad so much. Jimmy.
Well, Mark may not know what he's doing about football. He did get a stadium down there, so I give Mark credit for that. But he may not really know football that well. And, at the end of his life, Al didn't know football that well either. He really lost it.
He lost it for a while. Corey Soto says, could have gotten Waller for a third, $17 million annually. Well, the Niners can't afford that now with Jake Brendel on the team. Darren Waller just got traded to the New York Giants for a third-round pick, so that's one less target Jimmy Garoppolo will have. Adrian Garcia says, going all in with the big-time players such as Hargrave makes me feel that we're going to be in the same situation that the Rams are in right now. I think the Niners might even know it, too. They have a lot of guys who are highly paid and in their 30s. They may end up they're going to have to rebuild this team eventually. They'll still have Nick Bosa, but they got to win the Super Bowl now before they become the Rams. See what I'm saying, Dad?
Yeah, I do.
A couple more.
Couple more.
Brendel's coming back on a 4-year deal. Sorry we were behind on that one, Daniel Garcia. Josh Wyatt, it feels like Lynch has finally won the power struggle over Parag. This move feels like a full-on indictment of the usual formula. Again, I feel like I think everyone in the organization understands that their core of players is reaching 30, and they need to do it right now, which is why I keep coming back to my dad said, okay, well, then what's the quarterback position?
Yeah. And wait a minute. As far as, first of all, I don't know that there's a power struggle between Lynch and Parag.
True.
I'm not granting that. But if there were, Parag is much closer to Jed York than John Lynch is.
Mike McGlinchey, 69, says, why are you playing with me? I'm hungry. O-line sucks without me. Hey, Cones, who you think going to replace me? Jimmy G got an injury clause in the Raiders deal. Well, we're going to have a whole section about how the Niners are going to replace you, Mike McGlinchey, so wait up. That's UK Mike McGlinchey. Glass Half Full Guy says, I'm with you, Grant. That Niners will package their picks and move up into the second round. They don't have room for a ton of new rookies. They could do that. They might need to get in the first round, though. Beck McKay says, do you think the Niners will still draft a quarterback?
Yes. Well, let me put it like this. If they don't, they're nuts.
Yeah.
I think the more quarterbacks, the better.
Right. It'll be round 7 like Purdy last year.
Round 7 is fine.
Yeah. Ryan says, Grant, they re-signed Brendel. Sorry, I was late on that one, but we got it. We talked Brendel. Corey Soto says, Darnold's skill set is more akin to Lance than Brock Purdy. If it indicates anything, it indicates Purdy's injury puts him up in the air. I disagree, Corey. He's not going to be running Darnold. He's not going to be running the zone read. He's not going to be running quarterback power. He's going to be scrambling around behind the line of scrimmage and doing play action. Trade Lance and 2 firsts for Lamar, still possible.
Forget that. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. They have Darnold and Brock now. Emmanuel Mosley to the Lions. Godspeed, Emmanuel. Is Trey a wallflower at a dance?
Well, that's what we talked about.
Well, on the football field, he seems like a wallflower at a dance. I don't know at actual parties. Slay to replace Mosley. What would you pay him? I don't think the Niners have that kind of money right now. They just paid a bunch of guys. Slay's very expensive. Gold-blooded says Trey will be fine. You may be overreacting about Darnold like you did with Josh Rosen. Okay. Trey and Darnold have
Darnold is better than Josh Rosen.
Yeah, Josh Rosen sucks. Official B&A Music 88 says Trey and Darnold have the same exact measurables: 6'3", 225, 9 3/8" hands, 4.8-ish 40 time. I expect to see him run QB counter, not the Brock Purdy offense. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. I think Trey is faster than Sam Darnold. Centennial G says, good to see Cohn family. Question for my dad. Any similarities between number 5 Garcia and Lance? Also, if Garcia would have stayed with SF, do you think it was possible he would have captured a Super Bowl under the Yorks? No, that team sucked.
No. Also, no one has captured a Super Bowl under the Yorks. I want to say Jeff Garcia is one of the most exciting quarterbacks I ever saw in my life. He was really smart, and what Ira Miller called him was a chaos quarterback, sort of like Russell Wilson. When all hell was breaking loose, that's when the play broke down, you had to really worry about Jeff Garcia.
Yeah.
I'm going to also say another thing. Jeff Garcia is a really smart quarterback.
Yeah. He was a lot like Brock Purdy, but he had a better arm, and he was more built, but he was really strong. Brock Purdy looks like he's 11. RS says, when this team has to rebuild, how would this franchise look moving forward? BP is the franchise quarterback, in your opinion. That's a little getting ahead of ourselves. I think they would have Nick Bosa, and that would be the core. That would be the best player in the team moving forward. I don't know who the quarterback would be. Errol Tolbert says, everyone keeps saying Kyle can fix a quarterback, but hasn't done so since he has been here. Giving up on Trey is suicide.
Boy, I would like to think that. I think Trey's going to have to prove something. He's going to at least have to beat out Sam Darnold. So I think everything is available to Trey if he's capable of taking it.
Right. It just feels like if the Niners really feel that Brock's going to be back this year and he's their guy and Darnold is a capable backup and that Trey Lance needs to play, but they're not willing to play him, they might trade him. Not that they should, but that might be their logic. Seen this movie, No Elite Quarterback, No Chip, says Coach G. That's pretty much how it works in the NFL these days. End of story. Love you guys, says Double B Studio. Thank you. Love you too. All right, back to the show. Is Sam Darnold a project, mentally broken man? Yeah, that's the Niners have to rebuild his confidence and make him stop trying to do too much. But again, he did well last year. There's something there.
Hold on. Do we know for a fact that he's a mentally broken man? I
don't know that he's a mentally broken man. Yeah,
we don't know. He's a guy who's had tremendous downs, not ups, downs in his pro career. But he rallied at the end of last season. That doesn't seem mentally broken to me. That seems actually a pretty strong person.
Right. And again, the coach who was coaching him there is now in the Niners, and I'm guessing he probably vouched for him and said, I like the guy, bring him in. So Niners probably have good feelings about him.